start joining us. We are really excited about kicking this off today, and it's probably a very appropriate time. We're coming into a market that is, it's obviously a changing market, shifting market, and it is a market where we're going to have sellers ask us to do more, and this is a great opportunity to provide them with probably the very best way to expose their property digitally, that'll really stand out and make a difference in comparison to everybody else. We sort of rolled this out with a few agents last Friday. We didn't roll it out like where anybody has access. Everybody's going to have access today. But what was interesting, one of the agents that was at the webinar or the Zoom meeting looked online and checked to see how many properties in that specific market that we were in. I was in Navarre. How many properties are showcased? And there were literally only 5 out of hundreds of properties. There were only 5. So it is. Were you getting my top half of my face?
Yeah, we can see right here, like just a little head, like a little bobble.
Hey, the less of my face you see, the better. So anyway, and they immediately noticed how exclusive this product really is. So it was only 5 out of several hundred listings that were active that were showcased. So this will definitely make you stand out. We're going to talk more about that. Beth is going to talk to us about Zillow. Going to talk to us about how you'll have access to it, how you'll be able to order your showcase. But I'm going to give you an encouragement today. And that's our Tuesday meetings. You want to do your best to try to attend in person, because I think that's probably the best energy for us to share is in person. But I'm going to encourage you to attend, especially going through this last quarter of the year, going into the first quarter of next year. Why? I think it's so important to really, come to these sessions now, because we're going to be talking about how to win in this type of market environment and how to set up your 2026 beginning now. And so all of this is going to happen. And part of the, unique value proposition that each and every one of you have, to go after that 85% of the market share that's available. There's 85% of the market share available. We only have 15. All right. Now, some brokerages wish they had 15, but I know we can do even better because we have a unique value proposition. Zillow's one of them. There's going to be much more that we're going to be talking about for you to be able to take advantage of what the available market is and how you can win in this new season. So Tuesday mornings, definitely do your best to attend. We're going to be talking about how to win for the remainder of 2025, but really how do you set yourselves up to win in 2026. Beth, I'm handing it off to you. I want to introduce Beth from Zillow. She is our partner in all of this, in the launch and in continuing for us to be very successful with this initiative. So Beth, you got it.
Thank you so much, Carlo. I appreciate it. Like you said, my name is Beth Yothman, and I'm the Senior Customer Success Manager that's going to be partnering directly with you guys there at Levin Renke when it comes to the Zillow Showcase. So my particular role is to help you all leverage this product, understand the product, and make sure you all are set up for success for the upcoming year. And just here to support you all in any way I can. So I'm going to go through a slide presentation and kind of give you the overview, like Carlos said, of kind of what the product is, how to leverage it, why you want to use it. I've got a couple of success stories that I've received from other agents that I work with that I'll share with you. And so without further ado, I will go ahead and share my slide deck and continue on with the presentation. The chat is open, so if you have questions along the way, feel free to drop them in. We can address all of those at the end. Plus, I encourage you to come off mute and ask your questions live as well after the presentation. So here we go. So first of all, what is Zillow Showcase? Show of hands, just real quickly. Have many of you heard of this product before? Have you used it before? Some of you have. Good. So it's not completely foreign to you. That's great. So what it is really, it's a captivating new display for your listings. And there's really more, two different ways to look at it. The new display for your listing, and then it's also a marketing tool for you. And we're going to break some of that down and go into that. And so what's included when you have a Zillow Showcase is a unique map icon and search tag. So it's going to show up differently when your consumers are looking for properties in the area. And you're going to get prioritized placement for those particular people that are searching for properties that match what your listing is that is showcased. And you're also going to receive dedicated email alerts that are highlighting just your one particular property as well as you as that agent. So again, it's a different listing treatment, but it's going to offer you eye-catching media with high resolution photography. It includes interactive floor plans and virtual tours. So we like to say, tell your story where it matters. All of you as agents, when you list a property, I know you guys put listing signs coming, in the front yard of your property. So you're going to look at this as your digital yard sign. So this is where the marketing piece for you as the agent comes in. So this is where you're going to get a lot of high impact branding on your listings. So what I'm going to do quickly here now is just jump out of my presentation and show you quickly the difference between a showcase and a non-showcase listing. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with what a non-showcase listing looks like. You've got your normal, just static photos up above, the property details. And I want to draw your attention to the two buttons to the right there where it says request a tour or contact agent. Both of those buttons on a standard listing do go directly, if a consumer clicks on them, goes directly to our premier agent pool of agents that are purchasing properties to be leads to be sent to them in that area. You have to scroll down even further and in the small print below just to find out who's listed this property, who's the listing agent. So it's way down here in very small font who the listing agent is. So that's basically what our normal standard listing looks like. So now what does it look like when you showcase your property? You're going to notice right off the bat that it's going to look totally different. You've got rotating hero images here in a rotating carousel. We automatically, through our AI program, pick 3 of these photos for you. You can change which ones are here. You can also add 2 more. So you can have up to 5 photos that rotate in this carousel. And what else do you notice right off the bat? You know who the listing agent is in this property. She's listed right up top. And if you scroll down just a little bit, she's got her bio here. You can read more about her. You can also see that there's a hyperlinked phone number. That is Christina's phone number. So if a shopper, consumer is searching for properties and they are on their smart devices, their phones or tablets, they can make a direct call to Christina. And then over here, you notice the 2 buttons are still here. The request a tour button is the same. However, the contact Christina button, if you click on it, the consumer can fill out their information and Christina will be emailed directly. So I want to say right off the bat, this tool was not created or designed as a lead generation tool. So keep that in mind. However, leads do come from it. I will tell you this is not the norm, but I did have a client share with me the other day that their agent received 4 leads directly in one day. And again, that was kind of a little bit not the norm, but you will receive some leads from your showcase listing when consumers want to reach out to you directly. You're also able to set up your profile to where these are hyperlinked. So if you work as an agent and have your own personal website, or if you manage your social media pages, these are all hyperlinked too, which just gives another way for the consumer to reach out to you directly or check out your personal information. And again, as you scroll down on the page, the listing agent stays prominent and stays right up there at the top. So the consumer always knows who's got it listed. So I'm going to real quickly jump back here to the non-showcase listing, and I want to show you how many days this property's been on the market. 100. This is how many views it's had and how many saves this property has had in 100 days. If we jump back out to our showcased property, this one's only on the market 72 days, and they've got quite a bit more saves and views as opposed to the one that is non-showcased. Another great feature is you can also go into the featured rooms. You can see here they're highlighting the family room, the kitchen. And when you jump into these, you can click into the 3D tour, and that gives your consumer a better view. They can go through the home, look around. If you click on the floor plan, it brings it up right away. You can click on the buttons here, and it will take you to that space. It might be hard to see, but I'm going to bring this out a little bit. Because of the button I clicked on, you can see here that there's a cone. This is the way, and it'll show you the direction the photographer was standing, where they were in the home when they were taking the photo. It really gives you a display and a virtual tour that converts a lot of times into actual showings, because the consumer gets a real feel for this home and decides, I want to go see it. So they're going to hopefully transition into more showings once you have a showcase on your property. So now I'm going to jump back in here. So own your own market. So Zillow is committed to not saturate the market with this product. Carlo kind of touched on that briefly in the beginning when he was introducing me. We are committing to not oversell Zillow Showcase in a particular market. More than 10% of showings or listings will not be showcased. So what that means is if an individual agent is trying to buy and sign up for Zillow Showcase and the market's at that 10% cap, we will not let them.
Beth, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but your screen is still showing the virtual tour.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just me. Okay, I'm sorry. It's me. Sorry.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. So that's one thing that's going to make this product remain unique and keep you as an agent unique and make you stand out in the marketplace. So again, if an agent goes to try to purchase Zillow Showcase and we're at that 10% cap, we will not be sharing, or we will not be selling Zillow Showcase to that agent, because once a product becomes saturated and everybody can do it, it's no longer unique and special and no longer sets you apart as the agent. So expand your reach with Zillow. So this is a great way for you to somewhat tap into Zillow's expertise on consumers that are searching for properties in your area that match the unique properties of the listing that you have. So we send out that dedicated email that I mentioned earlier to roughly 600. It varies, obviously, based on the number of people that are searching for properties in your area that meet the criteria. So it's going to be based on, location, price, number of bedrooms, square footage, that type of thing. So depending on how many consumers are searching for that type of property, but they're going to receive a dedicated email that highlights your property only with you as the listing agent, instead of it being lumped in with 15 other properties that might meet their criteria. So this is one thing that's really great. And we find that you're getting a roughly 50% open rate on these emails. And I don't know too many marketing tools that you can purchase or pay for you as an agent that you're going to get a 50% open rate. So again, we amplify the exposure. This puts your listing on the map. So first of all, there's a little bit highlighted, bigger view of what the tag looks like on the maps when your consumer is searching. You see the showcase tag. There's a lot of consumers that actually will search only by showcase listings because they know what it does. They like the way it shows the property, and that's what they want to look for. We're also showing that 81% more page views on your listing, 80% more saves, and more shares by 90% compared to similar non-showcase listings. So sell faster, sell for more, win more business. So we're also showing that agents who use Showcase on the majority of their listings are winning roughly 30% more listings than non-Zillow Showcase agents. So this is where I have a couple of success stories from agents that I work with. And they, the story is exactly the same, but I heard it from both of them. They had a listing in a neighborhood, and obviously when you put the sign in the yard, people in the neighborhood are driving by, they're going, oh, the Smiths are moving. What does their house look like? What are they selling it for? You know, maybe I could get the same amount for my home. And if they are considering moving, then they're going to reach out to you as the agent. And that's exactly what happened. They saw the showcase treatment on the listing of their neighbors. They called that agent, and both agents in my scenarios won a listing appointment with neighbors in the neighborhood. And actually, they both did win the listing. So that was proof in the pudding to me that you can win more listings by using Showcase on your listings in your neighborhoods. We also showed that Showcase listings are 10% more likely to go pending in the first 14 days. And they can sell for 2% more, and that is based on the national average. So there's a few different ways that you can leverage Zillow Showcase. First of all, you can flip a listing. So what I mean by that is if you have a listing that's been on the market already 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're thinking, wow, I really thought I was going to get more traffic than this. What can I do to give it a boost? You could actually put a Zillow Showcase on it. And then we show that 80% more, you get 80% more page views, saves, and shares from when it was not showcased. So it does give that listing a boost that's needed. You can take it to your sellers and show them this is what you're going to do to continue to further market their property. You know, in some cases, if a listing is sitting too long, they may be considering canceling their, agreement with you to sell their home. But when you go into them and show them this product and show that I'm really working hard for you, this is what we're going to do next, then you can flip the listing to a showcase. We also offer you all marketing materials that are going to be readily available to you, and you will be able to get them in your design studio. So your team has these materials, and they're in Canva for editing to put branding from the agents on there.
Yeah, they already live in the design studio, and they're under the Zillow Showcase tab.
Perfect, thank you. So these are the different pieces that we already put out there for you, and they have a lot of those stats that we've just went over in my slide presentation. But the marketing resources are just a perfect way for you to start marketing to your sphere, friends and family, and showing or marketing yourself as that showcase agent. There's also a listing presentation, and you can take, if any of you take your tablets or laptops to do your listing presentations, it's electronic. We will be sending out physical booklets that are showcase presentation booklets. They're roughly 8 pages long. And again, it's going to have the just different features of what a Zillow Showcase is so that you can properly market that to your sellers. We have social media posts where you can put them out on your Facebook or Instagram page, anything that you use in social media, direct mail marketing and postcards, and then email marketing as well. So you don't have to reinvent or create it. We've got it for you. Showcase performance. So within your Showcase account, when you sign in and you go into a listing that you've put on the market as a showcase,
Hey,
there's
Beth,
a performance. Yes, Carlo.
before you continue, just on the marketing piece, we had a couple of questions just come in. I just received some text. So the marketing material that's available will help you with your current listing presentations. For 2026, we will be updating our seller's guide to help you. Okay.
Thank you, Carlo. Okay, so when you go to the tab that's listed as performance within your Showcase account, this is where it's going to show you for that listing how the performance, how everything is coming in. So it'll show you the page views, saves, and shares. And it'll also give you a bar graph there. It kind of compares how your Showcase listing is doing and how it's being trafficked over the non-Showcase listing in the market. And it'll show you also how many of those individual dedicated emails that went out. So you'll know and be able to share with your customer that we've sent out this many emails directly to consumers that are looking for homes similar to yours. And it'll also show you the open rate and engagement. And what is that? It's so great to be able to send this information to your consumers. So you can actually download this. It's a 2-page, nice document put together that's branded with you as the agent for you to be able to share with your sellers so that they know how things are going. A couple of different ways to use this information to and leverage it is, number one, it makes you able to share with them and show them and prove to them why that you are worth your commission rate. There may be people that you're competing against on a listing presentation that are undercutting your percentage of what you're going to ask for in a commission. This is just one other way to show them, look what I'm doing for you. So yes, I am worth every bit of the commission I am asking for. It also helps you have difficult conversations. If you notice in this data that it's not performing like you had expected, you can use it to go back to your sellers and talk to them about maybe the price conversation, which is always uncomfortable. Perhaps they wanted you to list it for higher than you thought it was necessary in that market, and they were adamant about saying, I want it listed for this amount. You can go back and show them it's not getting the traffic we had hoped, so it's time to lower the price. So getting started. This is the exclusive package that Zillow and Levin Renke has negotiated, which is really huge savings for you guys. So a normal retail cost for a showcase in the market is anywhere from $350 to $750, which is really great because Levin Renke has negotiated a price, a bulk deal, where your showcases are only going to cost $175. Plus the cost of your media. Now there is specific media that is required for you all to have in order to showcase. We're going to go over that in just a minute. But if a retail agent comes in and would like to purchase Showcase, at a minimum, they have to sign a 6-month agreement with us. And whatever the rate is in your area, they're going to have to pay that cost monthly for 6 months, which gives them 1 credit per month for the 6 months. If you're purchasing the credits directly from your brokerage, you pay $175 for 1 listing. There's no contracts for you to sign. That's it. So it's a really great savings for you all to be able to purchase them at $175 plus the cost of your media. So getting started. Today, I will be uploading the entire Levin Renke roster into the platform. Once that's complete, you all will receive an email that's going to come from Showing Time Plus. Once you receive that email, you need to go in and accept it. And accepting that is going to connect you to Levin Renke's Showcase platform. And that's how you will then gain access to order your credits, order your media, and purchase your Zillow Showcase. You will enter in your levinrenke.com email, and then you may have to reset your password. So that way you'll have access. Once you get inside the platform, the first thing you want to make sure you do is complete your agent profile. So that's where you're going to put in your agent photo, any of your social media links, your personal website if you use it. You're going to put in your bio. So you'll have everything set up for your agent profile that's necessary. Once it's done, and you're ready to start ordering showcases. So make sure you do that first. Make sure it's all complete, because once you showcase a property, as you saw in the demonstration I gave you earlier, you want everything to look great before you list that property and have everything ready and up and running. So that's pretty much what I had explained earlier about your account. I'm going to kind of quickly show you in real time. When you first sign in, all of the listings are going to start showing up here when you have them. But if you go to the bottom left-hand corner, hit settings and click user settings, this is where it brings up your profile. And you're going to want to make sure everything here is 100% complete. So when it comes time for creating a new listing, like I showed you, there was none there, but you will have listings eventually, and they're going to show up in your account. And when it comes time to create one, you just go up to the add listing button up here. You enter in the property address. You're going to populate here as the listing agent and then click add listing. And then you're going to order your showcase and media. That's the button you click there. It's going to ask you for a couple of details. The listing price, there's a drop down arrow. So you're going to select what price range the property's in. And then it says choose your method payment. Your method payment is going to be use your own payment method. So you'll be able to enter in your credit card and purchase your showcase credit right off the platform. Then you're going to go down and click submit payment. There, the blue button in the bottom right-hand corner. And then you're going to get a confirmation that says you're getting a showcase listing, get media. You want to click that get media button. I also want to highlight that this is what you should do to start with a listing once you have one. Go directly, and you know you're going to showcase it, go directly into your account and get started this way, because here you're going to hit order media. And this is how you're going to actually let the platform know what photographer you intend to use and how they're going to get the link to upload the media to your showcase. So again, you're going to click the Get Media button. And then it's going to open up and you're going to have a box there that's highlighted in red that says has your own photographer. You're going to click Invite Photographer. And then you'll enter in their email address, the company name. And what happens when we put the photographer's information in there? Zillow will send the photographer an email with instructions on how to upload your media. Then you're going to reach out to your photographer to schedule the photo shoot and pay for your media. Next, your photographer is going to capture the photos, the Zillow 3D tour, and the interactive floor plan. And then your photographer will upload the files, and then they will appear in your dashboard, your showcase account. And then once all of that's complete, down here where it says orders, it's going to show you that your Zillow showcase is pending and you are waiting on your media. These are some options in the area that your team, your brokerage has supplied to me that we know already are qualified to take what is necessary to shoot a Zillow showcase. If you see there at the very bottom, very bold in all caps, it says no Matterport. If you want to use your own photographer and they're not listed here, you are able to do that as long as they have the proper equipment to do so. There are some photographers who say, oh, I can do a 3D tour and an interactive floor plan, but it's a Matterport. That we do not accept that. So please make a note of that. But we already know that these three media companies are capable of shooting the Zillow 3D tour and interactive floor plan. So as a reminder, this is the requirements. So on the left-hand column there, please confirm prior to entering their email address when you're ordering the showcase that they are capable of shooting a Zillow 3D tour and interactive floor plan before you enter their information in there. On the right-hand side, it tells you exactly what is needed to get started by the photographer. They need a Ricoh 360 or Insta360 camera. They also need to have a compatible iOS or Android device. And they also need to download the latest version of the Zillow 3D Home app. If they have all of that, they can take a Zillow Showcase photography package. I'm going to send this over to your team as well so they can put it out on their on your all's website. But the link that's there in the bottom is a link that you can send directly to any photographer. It links them directly to our photography page, and they can view the requirements, see the cameras that are compatible, and instructions on how to become a Zillow Select photographer for shooting Zillow Showcase. It doesn't cost money for them other than if they don't have the equipment, but anybody that has the right equipment can shoot a Zillow 3D interactive floor plan and 3D tour. So once they've received the media from your photographer, you are able to then, and we highly recommend you do your editing in here. So you're going to review the photography. It shows all of the photos. It'll show you your 3D content and your interactive floor plan. So you'll go here where it says to the editor tab on the left-hand side, and you can see there the white button that says edit carousel photos. That is where you would go to edit and add any photos to the carousel. You can also add and edit the featured rooms. You can take a featured room out. You can put a new one in. You can add photos to it, remove photos. Make sure your listing and everything is edited and properly ready to go before you put it in the MLS as live. So here is the living room, and they're highlighting that. And then it's time to activate. Once you've done everything in the Showcase platform that's required, then you're going to go and download. You'll make sure your media is downloaded. Then you're going to upload it into the MLS. You want to make sure that you take the MLS-friendly interactive floor plan URL and paste it into the virtual tour URL field of the MLS. And then you're going to make your listing active on the MLS. Once you turn that active listing on the MLS, make it active, the Showcase should automatically activate for you. As long as you follow the steps and create your Showcase first and do everything in order that way, and then you make your listing live on the MLS, it'll automatically activate. Now, if you're flipping the listing like I talked about earlier, obviously your listing is already live on the MLS. Things will be just a little bit different. We're happy to walk you through those steps and help you. We have a great support department, but you would still need to make sure that you capture the proper media if you didn't already have a Zillow 3D tour and interactive floor plan. Those are the two pieces that are required to Showcase. So in order to flip a listing, you may be required to purchase more media if you hadn't already gotten those pieces of media from your original photography photo shoot. And that pretty much is everything for the product and kind of the basic how to get started. And then here's our VIP support, the dates and times and phone numbers and emails. There's also a separate one for third-party photography support. So if you have a photographer that gets stuck on something and needs assistance, they can reach directly out to our third-party photographer support line to get the help they need to make sure you all get your Showcase up and running. That is pretty much my...
And we also have the great Hannah Green.
Hey, Beth, this is Wayne. Hannah and I have been just looking at some of these questions in the chat. One of the things that agents seem to be concerned about, and I wanted you to reply to this or respond to this rather, I know you'll explain it so much better. So Zillow Showcase is limited to 10% of the market. Several of the agents have been concerned, what if we reach 10%? Are we then going to be denied on our listing? So would you speak to that so they can understand how that actually worked for us?
Absolutely, absolutely. So because Levin Renke and Zillow have entered into an agreement as an enterprise Showcase customer, as long as we have that partnership with you all, you guys will not be denied. You can go over that 10% cap. What it does is it denies other agents in the market from trying to purchase Zillow Showcase because we're at the 10% cap. So as long as
we bought it in bulk.
Yes, they bought in bulk. We have plenty of credits for you all. And
You have to use it.
That's right. You have to use the credits. So as long as we are continued in a partnership and they continue to renew our relationship and have these credits available, they will always be available to you. So the 10% doesn't count for you guys at Levin Renke. But it prevents others from coming in and buying. So again,
Wayne, do you want to go through each question and just maybe answer some of those? Because some asked about the photographers too and that kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
So with photographers, and I've been using Showcase for a little while now with my team, and the photographers, the only cost to the photographer, they don't have to join Zillow or anything. The only cost to them is to make sure they have the camera. And Beth mentioned this earlier. They have to have the special camera that's required for the 360. It's not your typical Matterport camera. And the photographer I work with, I think it was about $300, she said, when she bought the camera. So really, for a business owner, that's not a huge expense. Um, we had a question for you, Beth. What defines a market? Is it a zip code? Is it a neighborhood?
So the way Zillow defines market is based on the census. So if you go into and Google the census for your area, whatever that looks like, that's what's considered the area. So it's not necessarily a county, it's not necessarily a zip code, but it's however the census department looks at that particular area. So it's probably larger than one would think.
And like I would assume that for us that means like we have some areas like we've got Warrington that's considered an area. Then we've got Cantonment, we've got Pensacola Beach. So each one the way it falls in line with the census is how you guys look at it.
Correct.
So for teams, now the way I know how it works for my team currently, everything still goes under me like it always does. And then I add my team member if they are the listing agent. And I still put everything in, or my admin puts everything in. But once I add that team member, they can add their own, they can upload their photos and things. Is it going to work the same when we're on our enterprise?
So that's a good question. And every team is going to function a little bit differently. So your
Right,
team, Wayne, is going to be different than someone else's.
exactly.
Um, but typically, whoever the listing agent is on the MLS should be the one ordering and having the showcase listed under their profile in the Zillow showcase. Now, if let's just say you're a two-person team, and you guys both want to be highlighted, you can put together an email address that's for like, the Beth team, and then put a picture of the both of you in the photo section. You can do a bio that's strictly for the team. However, you can only have one contact email and one contact phone number in the profile. So if you do have a team email, you could put that in there, but only one of the phone numbers. So if you had an office number for just your team, you could put that number in there and the admin could field any leads that come through that. So it really depends on how you all function as a team. I'm happy to talk individually and walk you all through on those as they arise. Hannah and I are going to be partnering closely together with questions like that are kind of one-offs that our normal support department may not. They're great. They can handle any kind of technical issues you're having, or if something's not working quite right, support is the person you're going to go to. But then I can handle kind of those one-off situations that might be different. So, but
Excellent.
I'm happy
Great.
to do that as well. If the teams need that guidance, we can work through it together and make sure they're set up properly.
Perfect.
But
And
for
those of you on
today,
here
for today, when we upload the roster, it's going to go to each one individually, and they're going to have their own individual profiles, and they need to accept it. And I can't give you a time today. It depends on how quickly I will upload the roster today, but then however long that takes, and then for those automated emails to go out. But that's how you get connected to the 11 Ranky workspace. That's what you want to make sure that you do.
Excellent. We have a few other questions around media. This question is specifically about uploading media. Jade, you are allowed to upload media you already have. If you have your photographer invited, then your photographer will get the link and be able to upload everything just like they upload it to you. But you are able to upload your own media. And then another question is, can you use current photos already in the MLS? So once you link if you've got a listing that you're going to flip over to a showcase, once you put everything in showcase with your address and everything as it is in the MLS, it will syndicate. So it will pull from what you already have in the MLS. Is that correct, Beth?
So typically what's going to happen, you have to have the photography, the photos, the 3D tour and
You've got to
everything.
have the 3D.
You
Yes.
need to have all of that uploaded by your photographer into your showcase account.
Before you can flip it. It still
Yes.
has to have, so to be a showcase, it's got to have that 360 before you can flip it.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. And also the photos need to be uploaded in the link that's provided to the photographer as well.
Perfect. There's a question here, Beth, about virtually staged photos. Can those be used?
They can be if your photographer has the link to upload them. So whatever media that you guys are using, they should be able to upload directly to Showcase for you.
Dee Marie, your question about partner listings, I think that's one you can talk with Hannah about, and then she and Beth can discuss that to figure out the best way forward for you guys. There is a direct number for agents as well. Hannah has copied all that, so we'll make sure we have that available for support. Oh, it looks like Brooke already put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
let's
it's still on
see.
my screen too, the slide, if you want to, take a quick screenshot or something, all of that information
Hannah
there.
did. Yep,
Yeah,
Hannah
good,
did that
good,
so we
good.
can put it in our drive. And this is one that I actually had this same question that Sherry has asked. If we're already a Zillow Showcase member, if we flip over to the brokerage, are we going to lose the credits we already have?
So I will be working with Hannah. We'll partner together. I will need to know a list of people that have individual agent accounts that are retail
Okay.
agent accounts. And if they choose or are wishing to cancel those out, we can do that. I can cancel them and I will see how many credits are available. And I can actually add those credits if this is okay, with Carlo, I guess, we can add those credits to your all's. Well, you know what? Let me rethink that. I'm going to get back to you on that
Okay.
because your name's
Yeah, think about it, because I don't want the agents
Yeah,
that
yeah,
have
yeah.
committed or paid for it to be on the hook.
Right, right,
And
right. Let me look
understand,
into that.
so,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will need each person individually to look into that to see where they are in their contract agreement.
We
because don't want them to
did
lose.
have that discussion, and I think we need to circle back with oh man, Corbin and
Corbin, yeah.
talk about our initial agreement, which was to obviously, allow the agents to not have to utilize those credits and get those back.
Yeah, okay.
And then we do have several Alabama agents. Will this be available for our Alabama agents as well?
As long as you're connected to Levin Rinke and
Correct.
you have a license, you can use them wherever you do business.
Excellent.
A few people were asking, do they need to use their Levin Rinke email or does it matter?
Well, I will be using and uploading the roster that was provided to me.
So yes.
If on a smaller scale, you want to use a different email. I mean, the email that we upload and that you sign in with does not have to be the email that you put in your profile, which
Yeah.
customers would reach out to. However, they can, or it would be a one-off, but we could add in a person, a name, a second name with a different email if that's really what they want to use for their account login.
I think it was because people already have accounts set up under different email addresses, and that's why they were asking.
They can do that. And I'll answer for you, Beth. The only what they're going to get initially is an email to create their profile. What they put in their profile is up to them. They want to use a different email address, that's fine. But the email that they're going to receive from Zillow is whatever we provided as a company as a contact information. So I would look at probably your Levin Rinke email account.
Yes.
Or look at both. But that's what that's how you're going to receive the email. What you put in your profile is totally up to you.
But I think what they're saying too, though, is can they make their sign in another email and not Levin Rinke, which we can. We would just have to add them in separately. It's not going to be coming with automatic from the upload of the roster. So they would have to reach out to Hannah, and Hannah can decide or whatever if she wants to go in. We'll be working together. We can go in and add people into your account one at a time.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, we're not going to do that for the whole roster,
I
but
gotta
you know
tell
what I
you,
mean.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get into the weeds like that. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
for
has
roster,
uploads, we need it to be the Levin Rinky email. You guys are pretty familiar with that at this point. Like all the
Okay.
systems that we've had, we've switched over to Levin Rinky emails.
Yeah.
If you need help with email forwarding, please let me know. So if you want to make sure that anything that's sent to your Levin Rinky email is sending to the emails you prefer to use, that's fine. But as Beth said, you can display a different email, but just for login purposes. That's what this is for. So
Correct.
I wouldn't
Correct.
stress it too much on the Levin Rinky email side of things.
Great. Okay.
Another question, and this maybe we have to deal with offline, Beth, but maybe it's an easy one. We are not unlike any other place, I'm sure. We have several MLS systems. Does it matter if we're listing in 3 different MLSs? How does that affect Showcase? Do we need to do something different or special for Showcase? Or how will that work?
So you will see a difference when it comes to like your performance. When I talked about the performance tab in your account, in the individual agent profile account, when it shows up and when it appears on Zillow, you'll see a hyperlink below. It'll say also available on, and it would list the second MLS. So a consumer will be able to toggle between them, but it's going to change the days on market. If you don't put them all in on the same at the same time, you know, one could show this many views, the other one can show that many views. So it is going to kind of skew the information a little bit, and depending on which MLS. So where I've noticed the most concern is when your sellers go and try to find their own home on Zillow and they look at it. It might say, oh, well, it says this, but I thought it said this because of the 2 different MLSs. So yes, the short answer is yes, you can put them on multiple MLSs. But your main one, your basic one is where it's going to syndicate to first. But then if you choose to put it on additional MLSs, that's where you're going to see some of those details being a little bit different.
Perfect. There are a couple of questions in here again about photos. So guys, once we get this up and running, I think we'll probably have to do another little session and walk through how you do it, because there are things you can do yourself versus the photographer having to do for you. So once we get up and running, I think as we get to those, we'll either do a helpful hack or we'll do another Zoom session, because I think some of these questions are a lot easier to show you how to do versus try to tell you how to do. But you are able to do things. You're not going to be reliant on your photographer to do every little thing. However, I will say, if you get with a photographer who's already doing it, I literally give everything to my photographer. I go through with my photographer. I edit everything I want to edit, and then my photographer uploads everything, and then I don't have to touch it again. So for me, that really works. So once you figure out what your process is going to be, then between myself and Hannah and Beth's team, we'll be able to help you with some of those more specific questions.
And I think that's great too, because you doing it on a daily basis probably have even ways of knowing how you and your photographer work that I'm not even completely privy to, just because I don't actually create and do my own showcases. Right. I'm not an agent. So I think that's great if you can help and lean in to show different tricks that you're used to doing. That's great. And I'm happy to help where I can.
And Beth, just to clarify on the emails, just so we're getting like some more questions about that. So just so we understand, if an agent already has an agent profile on Zillow under a different email, that should not affect their ability to connect to the Zillow Showcase account that we're creating now, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So it's okay if you're currently logging into your agent profile under a different email. We are creating a Zillow Showcase account for you that you'll log into, and then when you get into it, you can connect your profile from there. So we should be all set there. Beth, do you have anything to add on that?
Yes, just be careful, because if you do use the one you currently have an email connected to that's not Levin Rinky, you're going to be purchasing credits and you're going to be charged the retail rate because you're not connected to the Levin Rinky workspace. So that's why you need to make sure you're connected to the workspace and you have your sign in that's going to take you to that workspace and not your individual agent workspace. I mean, obviously you still want to use the credits you purchased from there. So you may have two for a while until we kind of talk about that and work through what the best scenario is
Mhm.
to get your credits back to you. So
Yeah, I think the concern was more for the agents, not necessarily that have showcase, but just have reviews on their Zillow profile. They want to make sure they're not
oh,
losing when they go to connect, that if they have a Zillow profile right now set up under their email that they currently use of all the reviews, when they go in to make that connection, they just want to make sure that it doesn't matter that the emails are.
no, right. You're going to use whatever email is attached to your Zillow profile account.
Okay.
There was also a question earlier that I I saw, and then we were talking about other things, and I forgot to ask you. Someone asked about co-branding. Several of us have lenders that co-brand with us on our Zillow Premier Agent. So when you're doing a showcase listing, will your co-branded lender show there as well?
No, I don't believe so.
I think it just shows the listing agent and the listing, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So the answer for that was no, your co-branded lender won't show on the showcase. And Carlo answered 1 credit per listing. So there's a lot of questions, and we'll dig into this a little later, Beth. And if we can't figure it out, we'll ask you. But there's a lot of questions around the multiple MLSs. Your listing's only going to show 1 time on Zillow. So you use 1 credit per that listing. It doesn't matter how many MLSs you have it entered in. You're only using 1 credit per listing on Zillow.
And to add to that, if you have a listing that's been on the market for say 3-4 weeks and the homeowner and you together decide, let's take it off the market, let's do some fresh painting, and then you put it back on a week or two later, you do not need to purchase an additional credit. That credit stays with the listing agent with that property until it sells. But if the listing agent changes or, whatever, or if it's off the market for like 3 months, then you would have to purchase new credit because the other one would expire. So if it's just coming off the market for a few weeks, just to do some upgrades, then you do not need to repurchase a credit. We can reactivate that showcase.
So, Beth, I have a question on that. My rep told me that the showcase was only good for the first 7 days. Will it stay active until the home sells?
Oh yeah, the showcase is on there for the life of the listing.
Okay.
I don't know who told you 7 days.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if you're
I'll
paying for a
message.
showcase, your property is going to be showcased.
Perfect.
And another thing to note also is when you have a listing that goes pending, back on the live showcase listing, I showed you how it said it still had the connect, you could still like request a tour or connect to the agent. If you put your property in pending status, that request a tour button goes away, and the only way someone can reach out is through the agent directly. I hope that made sense.
Let me see. Did we have any? Victoria, to yours, once you switch it over, you just have to have the required 360 added into Showcase once everything's set up. And you can, we're working on what Beth was saying. She's got to get everything uploaded still. But once everything's uploaded, you'll get your invitation email. Soon as you set everything up and you have what you need to make it a Showcase listing, you don't have to wait. You can go ahead and submit it.
Yep. The account is up and ready to go. We just have to get all the agents added in. We chose as a group to not send out the invitations prior to this training because we didn't want everybody to receive them and wonder, what is this?
Right.
Delete it. Why do we need to do this? So now everyone on the training knows. Talk to your friends that aren't here, because I'm sure there's more agents in the brokerage that attended today. But if they see, I got this thing from Showing Time Plus, it says join this workspace. Tell them to do it. Tell them to set up their profile. So.
And I may have missed this from our side, but I know the way it works for me now. Every time I do a listing, it says use 1 credit. Will we still see that? And then that's how Levin Rinky is triggered to bill the agent for their credit?
it'll actually say use your own payment method.
Oh,
That's the
excellent.
only,
Even
it's
better.
gonna only have one option for them. They choose it, and then it's gonna ask for their credit card information.
Perfect. So if you've got all that set up, that's easy peasy then.
Yeah, that was all done on our end. So that's what your agents see when they sign in, is the only way they can pay for it is with their own credit card.
Perfect. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I think DeMarie had a specific, what is the census area? I'm not sure if that's something.
I think they're just wanting more confirmation on Alabama.
Okay, so we can.
Yeah,
work on that
so
offline.
to simplify that, every Levin Rinky agent is going to be able to showcase a listing. You will not be limited.
Perfect.
You will not be limited. Okay.
Perfect.
And then I think the last question we have is, can you confirm if we go contingent and pending and then back active, will the showcase be present and will it reactivate?
Yes, it'll stay active the whole time.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think we got through.
Well, we
Got
pretty much all of
everything?
them.
Yeah, I did, just so everyone is feeling comfortable about it too. I did save a transcript of all of the questions too. So we're obviously going to be releasing like follow-up training on this. I'm going to be doing a helpful hacks on this week. So we'll also make an FAQ sheet too with all the questions that were asked here. So if you do feel like we missed something or didn't answer it with enough detail, please just let us know, but we should be able to get all of that to you here soon. And then Beth, is it possible for us to get a copy of these slides? Jay
have
was
it.
asking. We
I have a
it.
copy. Yeah, I have a
Perfect.
copy. And just to follow up on what I initially spoke about when we got started, I would encourage all of you to either attend in person or attend virtually to our Tuesday meetings, because this will be a hot topic, how to present it, how to leverage, this service so that you could win more business.
Great. Is that everything? Everybody good? I
We're
appreciate your
also,
time, everybody. Yeah.
recording this training as well, so we'll add that into a Workman for you guys soon.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you for your time, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I'm here to help if needed.
Beth,
Lean on your leadership for questions. If they need to escalate anything to me, they can, and we'll work together to make this a successful launch.
Thank you, Beth. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.
bye.